is a great pleasure to be here at the fourth quarter meeting of the Nigerian Interreligious Council, NIREC, with the theme Peaceful and Credible Elections for National Renaissance. Let me start at this point by thanking the joint or the co-chairman or co-conveners of NIREC, His Eminence Alhaji Saad Abubakar III, the Sultan of Sokoto, and His Eminence Right Reverend Archbishop Daniel Oko, the President of the Christian Association of Nigeria, for their leadership and unwavering commitment to the mission of peaceful coexistence, security, and development of our nation. I'm particularly glad that this meeting comes at a time where the nation is preparing for its general election, which is expected to be free, fair, and credible, that would eventually translate into national rebirth. The leadership of NIREC have a critical role to play in this forthcoming general election because they are regarded as the spiritual heads, influencers of the society, and also custodians of our theology and ethics, which the followers look up to for guidance. At this critical period of active political activities, the leadership of NIREC are expected to be apolitical in any of their dealings and should be father for all, regardless of political affiliations. More also, the leadership of NIREC should ensure that they sue for peace among their followers by ensuring their sermons in all worship centers is tailored towards peace in pre, during, and post-election period. This faith is confirmed in the existence of the Nigerian Interreligious Council, NIREC, that is a symbol of religious coexistence. And the clip we watched was quite demonstrative of the evidence of the fact that it was the religious leaders themselves that came together and muted the idea of the formation of NIREC. No wonder it has lasted and is waxing strong in the last 20 years. The Council believes that there is no conflict between Christianity and Islam in Nigeria. And the Sultan of Sokoto ably and quite eloquently put it, that we do not have to tolerate each other. The theme and the thrust should be for us to understand each other. And we cannot be uniform. Yes, we crave for unity, but uniformity is a straitjacket box that we might not all fit into it. Even in one of the faiths, if you take Islam, there is no uniformity. There are these different teachings. In Christianity, the same thing. So let's advance the cause of unity as much as we can. The Council, therefore, needs the maximum support of the government and the cooperation of the delegates who represent both sides. The leadership of NIREC has inaugurated the NIREC Youth Forum, and the two gentlemen were introduced this morning, which is a clear indication that our religious leaders are ready and willing to refocus the attention of the youth. The President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, has demonstrated severally the willingness of the present administration to deliver on credible and peaceful elections come 2023. I can attest to that as a fact. Not only has he said that publicly, in private conversations with him over and over, he has re-echoed to me the need to ensure that we bequeath to this nation the legacy of a credible, fair, and transparent election. And yesterday, when he was in the Sultan's palace, he referred to that. Before the World Assembly at the United Nations General Assembly, which was his last, that was the testimony he left behind. He promised Nigerians that come May 29, 2023, that would evolve a new leadership for our country. The conduct of peaceful and credible election come 2023 is very important and critical because it will ensure national renaissance. Also, if there is peace in country, every aspect of our nation's life is sure of witnessing a rebirth which would eventually bring about development in all facets of life. Let me pause here to say that this is a process of nationhood. And I make bold to say that no government will be able to solve the problems of Nigeria in a term or 2 terms. It's a statement of fact. No government will be able to solve the problems of Nigeria in a term or 2 terms. And the truth about it is that all the people that are desiring to occupy the office of the president will be confronted with the same problems that President Muhammadu Buhari is being confronted with today. These problems are not going to vanish. They will be there. The issues of insecurity, the issues of banditry, the issues of unemployment, the downturn in the economy would confront whoever takes over on the 29th of May 2023. What is required is the resolve of Nigerians to have an all-of-people approach to dealing with our problems. Government alone cannot solve the problems. There are major attitudinal problems in this country that if we do not address them, whatever systems, like the Sultan says, in other jurisdictions that we are envious of, things are not working well, but systems and processes are working. And who are those that are creating those systems and processes to work? It's an all-of-government and all-of-people approach. So we must deal with our attitudinal problems in Nigeria fundamentally. Our elections in Nigeria have not always been flawed, Your Eminence. And like you rightly quoted, the product of the American election, which is a democracy that has existed in the last 250 years, it's a clear indication that the process can be good, but the outcomes can be subjected to a lot of conflict and manipulations. I say in Nigeria, our electoral and our electoral processes over the years have matured. We are getting somewhere. My major concern is the output. We must go back and look at the processes of even our selection. We must go back and look at even the quality of people we send as representatives. If not, it's garbage in and garbage out. Whatever you do, if the heart of the men are not regenerated, they will plunder. That is a statement of fact. There's nothing you can do about it. So, as complex as our problems are, I believe NIREC provides the platform to begin to even interrogate what kind of leaders do we want? What are their antecedents? What kind of people are they? What is the basis of their qualification for seeking for offices? What have they done in the past? Who have they led? I had cause to speak at course 44 of Kuru that came to see the president to present their report, which is an annual thing. And because the subject matter was about local governments, I told them after their presentation that good and brilliant presentations. But the fact of the matter is that Nigeria is where it is today because we have abdicated responsibilities. And there exists in the local governments no semblance of civilian authority. Everything has broken down. The local governments are just conduits. The officials that emerge as local government chairmen and councillors, who are supposed to be instruments of civilian authority that is closest to the people, is non-existent. And I went further to say that, look, you are talking about bandits. They are electoral bandits. You are talking about criminals and kidnappers. When there is no semblance of civilian authority in a particular location, family values are broken, religious ethos and ethics are totally disregarded, what do you expect? What do you expect? So it's a whole of the people's approach that we need in dealing with our problems. I told them, you can institute whatever reforms you want to do in the local government. You can give them all the financial, legislative autonomy. If the process of the production of those that would come into that office is not interrogated, and the caliber of the people. I remember when local government was started after the Suki report, in 76, I think, or thereabout. The quality of local government chairmen we had then, in the Southwest, there were professors who left university classrooms and went and contested for local government. Today, it's job for the boys. It's job for the boys. And you expect them to administer for the good and the welfare and benevolence of the people at the local level. And you want peace? While you have institutionalized thuggery. I give you responsibility to people who are not of honor in their communities. I'm throwing that out because I will not be here when you discuss about elections. But have that at the back of your mind, that something has to be done. The national renaissance that is required today should go beyond politics. Every profession is important for self-actualization and national integration. The lawyer can develop the nation by ensuring justice that is a condition for peace. The doctor can ensure the growth of the nation by delivering quality healthcare services. The police can grow a nation by ensuring law and order in the society. The soldier is called to defend the nation. That is why the army must never be politicized. The soldier is obliged to protect life and defend the sovereignty of the nation. This dedication alone can give the citizens a sense of security. The civil servants can renew the nation by enhancing the dignity of human persons. The smooth running of the nation depends on the civil servants. The teachers can renew the nation by becoming role models to their students. I therefore wish to reiterate that Mr. President has provided every necessary requirement and enablement for the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, in order to ensure that the election is conducted in a peaceful and credible manner. It is therefore the time for the religious leaders to take this campaign to the different wards and communities of this country and other spheres of influence by urging eligible Nigerians to conduct themselves peacefully during and after the general elections. Your Eminences, Your Highnesses, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, in order to ensure that there is peaceful and credible elections for national renaissance, the election must be transparent, inclusive, and accountable. There must be equitable opportunities to compete in the election. That presupposes that you do not exclude anybody. Inclusivity is a major ingredient for even eliciting support after electoral success. The forthcoming general election should not be seen as a do-or-die affair, but rather a peaceful one in order to reflect the rebirth of our nation. We must ensure that there's equitable opportunities to compete in the election. That is fundamental. Most of the crises, I'm a politician. I've been doing this business now probably running to about 3.5 to 4 decades. All my adult life. One of the biggest problems that creates a lot of problems at the grassroots level, by extension to the state and to the federal, is when people feel excluded from a process for no justifiable reason, because of manipulation of those that have the authority to conduct the processes. That's why our elections are always full of litigations. It's not because people want to go to court, but people feel that they have not been treated properly and fairly in the processes of the selection. I therefore call on NIREC to continue to support the government and the independent National Electoral Commission by preaching the benefit of peaceful and credible elections for the rebirth of our nation to our congregants and family members and community. With these very few remarks, and truly, for me, I hope we will be able to hold a meeting probably before the end of before the election processes, so that at least we can deal with the issues of national unity, to redirect and refocus those that are going to polls in February. I've had to say, Your Eminences, the co-chairman and the executive secretary, that it's been a delight working and learning from the wealth of your valuable advice and experiences. One of the functions of my office that is totally unknown to a lot of people is that I have the responsibility for public safety in the nation. And if you see me really running after NIREC, is to fulfill the mandate of my office, because if the whole place gets on fire, the fallouts will be quite disastrous. So just to express my gratitude, my heartfelt gratitude for your leadership, Your Eminences, and those of the members of NIREC for helping me fulfill the mandate of my office. I believe if the Lord tarries, and by this time next year, somebody else will be managing my office and will be working with you. The bar and the standards that we have raised, nobody can bring it down. I can assure you about that. Because your role will be much more needed, especially after the 2023 general elections. I now have the singular honor and pleasure to declare open the fourth quarter 2022 meeting of the Nigerian Interreligious Council, NIREC. And I thank you all for your kind attention and wish you a fruitful deliberation. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And thank you, sirs.